as I said, they were not gonna get any form of sneak attack on Drakken Joe. I mean, he wasn't gonna allow it. Nothing about his character comes off as careless. He's a tactical businessman, and he was not gonna, he's not gonna be this far in the criminal world without, having a lot of safety measures in case. Oh yeah, these, I've got this city that people, come and go from, of the Bellio goer. So, why would you assume that their whole system is so easy? Like, you just go through, oh, we'll have Hermit hack it. Hermit, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you overestimated yourself because you weren't careful enough with Drakken Joe. He's definitely not somebody that you've messed with before, and you're playing a little dangerous by by not like looking into who you're really dealing with. You have the capabilities to do the research, but I think you took too much confidence in the your skill as a hacker and that you did zero shit. I mean, this is Drakken Joe, and he's probably the most dangerous criminal in the cosmos, and he's a pretty big deal. So why are you making such trifling mistakes? What are you doing? But anyway, as it were, now we have this chapter with not only a really nice color page to start with, but a really nice extra color double spread, I might add. Just really good looking stuff. But Drakken Joe is, again, showing to be smarter than anybody that comes to mess with him. When you have, like, a lot of Hero Mishima's films before, Drakken Joe's not like, well, he's the best instantly, automatically. He definitely is showing that, his experience as a criminal, like, lord of crime boss, like underworld dude, you have to learn certain aspects in order to get to the top. It's not the same as, okay, like look at someone like Zareth, who just rose to power by being extremely powerful, intelligent, this mastery of magic. He just was this unstoppable, immortal, like radiator of death. That, I mean, really, what are you going to contend with him? Whereas you had, someone like Doryu and Rave Master. He was, this former leader of a city, and he, a lot of unfortunate turns came his way. He had abandoned that massive strength and power he had in order to try and get along with others, and that didn't work out for him. So, he ended up having to go back to it in order to really kind of live. But like with him, he already had that influence already in place. We don't know Drakken Joe's story, but here we can tell that he didn't just get to the spot by being some pushover. I'm guessing that he got to where he is, like, by outfoxing everybody that's come around before him, and being prepared, being in that setup position that if somebody thinks they're gonna screw him, good luck with that. And especially like if you have a ship that has loads of people coming and going, especially criminals, why would you not like expect his whole systems to be all super top notch? And again, Hermit, I'm sure you are like a great hacker. We already know that both, and what we've seen, you're probably better than what we've seen, but Drakken Joe just seems to be a step ahead of you. I mean, you really think he doesn't have like, oh, I'm gonna have a million things in place to do with hackers, lots of other stuff. But here it is. They weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for what they were really gonna deal with. And now, whereas the last arc, they were in like this big, bustling, almost like peace utopia like land of partying, gold, and casino style, like more fun style to it. Now they're on the remnants of Gilst, which have come to this place because it was a former sector of Gilst. It was sector number, I think they said sector number 1. It's like the main one of their place because he was pretty much the boss of that whole planet. And now, like, all these criminals have come here, so it's not like they're like a bunch of fragile, like, rich people. These are criminals that are, come here to gamble, and as seen, go to like strip clubs as they're going around having fun, playing games, and Amora's like getting hit on, and Wise is like playing cards, and then they end up going to the strip club, and him, Amora and Pino hurting their lust to go see some of these nice pole dancers, but as it were. Now they're trying to like formulate a plan, what to do. How are they gonna strike first against Drakken Joe? What are they gonna really do in order to overcome him? You did get this really nice part of like between Shiki and Wise, Because Weiss is more like looking at it from a broad, realistic, smart guy standpoint versus Shiki, who's much more of a I want to say a carer. You know, he seems to care a lot more about people. Like with Weiss, he's like, these guys are criminals, they're all bad people. Like, what does it matter if we end up, you know, getting in a fight with this ship with these people on it? Where it's like Amora and Shiki are like, you know, there's civilians on here, and it's like they're not civilians, they're criminals from Gilst. These aren't good people. It's not like they're, you know, I mean, like, again, we just saw a planet, you know, like on Sunja, where it's like, oh, you had all the, I mean, they're pretty much just rich people on vacation. Whereas here, it's a bunch of criminals that found somewhere to go after Gil's got it, you know, consumed. Well, it's time consumed by the chronophage, and now, like, this is where a bunch of them have gone to. So it's not like these are, you know, just nice people. These are all bad people that have just found a place to, you know, have fun and, you know, spend their money and maybe win more in casinos. I know there's a bunch of banks with loan sharks in there, so let me good luck getting a loan to go gamble, but. Cheeky's was, you know, not willing to get said people like involved in this because he's like, our beef is with Drakken Joe, not just, you know, some random people, and, you know, you get a back and forth between them and, you know, what is okay for them to kind of kill and what is not okay. But then out of nowhere, here's Sibber, you know, the guy that we saw back on Norma, you know, the little villain of that portion, and for Wise and Shiki, I was like, I mean, oh, cool, they're running into this guy. It's for poor Pino. She's so scared and nervous, like, seeing this guy again, that you just see her, like, hiding behind Amora, just shaking and being terrified. But this isn't the same one, because this is a different timeline, and you see, like, the flashback of, you know, the interactions with him and Pino. What's funny is, if you go look at Pino in those first couple, like, chapters, she has a whole different... it's not a different design. She looks different. She's much more of, like, a tiny little robot instead of, like, a chibi robot. Where she is now, and it's like you can see like Happy's design. If you go look at like chapter 1 of Fairy Tail and then like current one, Happy's design is different. His proportions are different, but it's a little weirder because you're seeing them both on the same page of like little cute chibi Pino and then just more of small Pino, like small bodied android Pino. But she's like, oh, you know, you're not the same guy, you know, so it's maybe it's okay. She's trying to be a little nice, and you could tell he feels bad because he's like, you know, in my younger days, I was a bit of a scoundrel, got in a lot of fights, always causing trouble for people, and I feel bad about it. You know, now he's become this aged man. He's just this old dude who's just trying to work and live, and he knows that, you know, you reflect on a lot of the bad things you did when you were younger, especially, I mean, look at him. He's like a reformed criminal. And now, not only is, you know, after years of reflecting off of it, now he's face to face with, like, little Pino is just this terrified little adorable android who's, you know, can barely look at the guy. And he knows that it's, you know, me in a different timeline did this to you, you know, that seemingly caused this trauma. So he's just coming off as a nicer person from it. And I like that about him. So, with him, it's just really nice to see the interactions between the characters, but also like Wise, who's moments ago like, oh, how if they're criminals, they're just, you know, they're bad, who cares? But, you know, he sees one that's reformed, and, you know, he's trying to become a better person, trying to live a you know, a much more comfortable life. And that was really nice. You got a really nice moment for showing both Shiki and Wise's characters, one for Pino as well, but, you know, a nice little step forward for Wise as well. But then again, like I said, I mean, they're 2 steps behind Drakken Joe, as he already just puts up a broadcast, and he's like, oh yeah, you guys really thought you can get the drop on me? Do you really think that you're gonna get the drop on me, Drakken Joe? No, I know you guys are on my ship city. I check every single ship that comes in here. We do full checks. We know it was you. Anybody who's with our vicinity, any ship that's connected, you know, we know. You know, your ship, we know where you came from. We recognize you. And it's not just that. Now they're attacking the Eden Zero ship. You know, you're setting everybody in, and chaos is about to ensue. So I'll get to that review in the next video. But for now, leave off in, you know, the excitement as members of the Drakken Joe crew end up going into his ship. And then I will read and get to the next chapter in a moment. So, you know, you can go check that on my channel. Click that, go see that. But for this one, again, Drakken Joe, I mean, the dude is too smart. He's prepared. He's the thing about him is, I'm guessing is his thing is it's not gonna be he's overwhelmingly powerful. His ether gear seems strong, But I'm guessing like a lot of his strengths are in his connections than how much he sets up for oh, is this character gonna like, oh, I'm messing with this guy, maybe they might come after me, I should get a plan in place for if they do. Anybody that he ends up coming across, I'd imagine that he tries to put in the scenario of what happens if they turn on me, what happens if these guys come at me, like am I gonna be ready? And then you don't get that far in an underworld where everyone's gonna backstab you with a drop of a hat in order to get that. Again, it's not like again, like something like, oh, fairy tale, you have criminal groups like the Arastian States. They're guilds, they've got their own clique, but they're all out for their own personal thing. And the dark guilds were never really messing with each other, or like Zareth, he was an empire, other people were bowing to him. Whereas Drakken Joe, we don't know how many other criminal organizations there are, but really in a criminal world versus like a straight villain world, villains, I think a lot of time have a lot more honor, and I think with the criminals, it's more that no honor among thieves. So other than that, comment below, tell me what you thought about the chapter, thumbs up the video, but for the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. For that, for which everybody's already subscribed, and thank you all for listening. Bye.